Hey Lonnie, Pat, Brenda, Carrie Lynn, Margie, Birdie. I'm on early because I've lovingly me. Tanya, because I have some things to tell you about. And hi Sharon, G. Melendez, Yvette, Little Dove, Barbara, Joe, Janae, Florence, Carrie Lynn, Tree Baby, Sheila, Teresa, Judy, Tammy, Rhonda, Casbat. Wow, everybody's flying in here. CM, Time for a Change. Well, I got Mindy, Sea Glass and Shells. Hi, Sarah, Snow Remover. Yeah, well, I have to be on early because I have other things to do tonight. Whisper to Me, Tracy B. Teresa, Autism Mom. Hi. Mary Egan, Ann Fox. Hello. Meredith, Sandy, Allison. Yeah, I've got places, roads to cover. Leaping Lizard, Barbara, Kathy, Scuba Girl. Mandy, I got Cheryl, Linda. Panel, did I get you? I think so. Jenny D, Joan, Mindy, Save Robbie. Good to see me in the daily. Yeah, okay, and just briefly behind me, the refrigerator, the mess, yes, I'm aware of it. Every single, well, I shouldn't say that because I haven't even had the refrigerator long. The last 2 Augusts, this exact same thing has happened to our refrigerator. The thermistor, not thermostat, it's called a thermistor, is put in the wrong place in the refrigerator. And every August, usually right before we go away on vacation, we notice that the stuff is not cold. And it's because all this ice forms on it and essentially shuts it off. They've repositioned it twice. Okay? Now they're doing something different. So the whole thing had to be defrosted and whatever. So that's the mess behind me. You lost who? Who'd you lose? Autism Mom. I don't know who you lost. Autism Mom, no idea. Right, so that has happened to your last, really, Brooke? What happened? Did they keep repositioning it? Because they repositioned it. I don't know what they're going to do now. He's got to order something, and he'll be back next week. You are, Robbie? I took I think a 6-mile bike ride earlier. I was sweating pretty good. That's all I needed, yeah. Okay, so let's go, because I have to, oh, thanks, Cowgirl. Yeah, I'm sorry as well. I really can't deal with any more stuff going on. I don't know what happened last night. I tried to ask what was happening last night. I don't know. At this point, I have to say, if someone, I don't know. I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. I didn't see anything myself there. We have other people that have made apologies that they were so, until I knew anything different, I don't know. So that's that. Now, that's okay, Carol. It's okay. Let's just forget that now. So, first thing, the movie. Let's talk about that. I said I'm not going to do Watts stuff unless there was something new. This is a development, and because we've covered the case, this is something I'm going to tell you about because it's no longer speculation. They are making a Lifetime movie with Sony about the Chris Watts case. In fact, the working title is, let's see here, The Chris Watts Story. It will air in 2020. Okay, so Lifetime, along with Sony, has the green light for the movie based on the case. And that was announced yesterday. The Watts family murders generated plenty of media coverage. Episodes of 2020, Dr. Phil, The Dr. Oz Show, as well as an HLN special, all delved into the details of this case, right? We know that. Exploring how a man who appeared on the surface to be a dedicated husband and father could strangle his wife and smother his children before burying her in a shallow grave and hiding the children's bodies in oil tanks. The movie, based on actual events and taped confessions, will explore the months leading up to the Watts family murders. It will also look for Chris Watts' motives for committing this disturbing crime. Sean, I think Clear will star as Chris Watts, and let's see, should have a photo of, there we go. And Ashley Williams will play Shanann. Brooke Smith will play FBI agent Tammy Lee, who helped see that Watts was brought to justice. Now, this, I guess, is supposed to be their saving grace. As part of its Stop Violence Against Women campaign, the network will also air a special PSA following the movie that will direct people to resources on domestic abuse and crisis hotlines. Now, they don't say anything about, the proceeds in any way going to help even a portion of the, to help domestic abuse or help victims or anything like, hold on a minute. Jimmy? Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about the proceeds, just that they're going to do a PSA at the end. So this is going to be, are your eyes deceiving you, Mama Ames? Why? Oh, because that I'm on early? Well, I have to be on early because I have places to go. Well, Hedda, you have to understand that if you look at it, okay, from their perspective, they've done Jodi Arias, they've done Scott Peterson. What other ones? And less notable ones have been made, like that murder in New Jersey with that dentist that murdered his wife with the weights, right? Nearly the Drew Peterson has been made into, I think, a couple of movies. What else? I didn't see. Yes, hey, Robbie. But they did, and you have to understand that those producers, they're looking to bring what people want, and we'd be foolish to say that people are not going to watch the movie. People are going to watch the movie, okay? They are going to watch the movie. And in the end, that's what they're going to bring. So not only do they normally make movies about trials and cases, thanks, Red Leg Wine, it's going to happen. I mean, it's the way it is. Right, Robbie? I mean, I'm telling you, I will too. I mean, I'm not, you want me to lie and say I'm not going to watch it? I will watch it. I will watch it. It's the way it is. I mean, let's be real. I think a lot of you are going to be watching it too. Let's be real. Did you watch, did I watch the one about Scott Peterson? I did. Did I watch the Jodi Arias? Many times. I saw that Dirty Little Secret at least 3-4 times. Does it mean to me that I don't have respect for the victims if I'm watching a movie? No, it doesn't mean that. So, I think we would hope they'll do it, with that ending being that there's little kids in there with some kind of hi Maria tact, but I don't know. We've seen the Menendez brothers, what we should talk about is what big case like that have you seen that hasn't been turned into a movie? We have Michael Peterson was turned into that staircase thing. They're either turned into a docuseries or something. Can you think of one that hasn't been? Can you think of one? Like I said, there's smaller ones that have been, like that dentist in New Jersey. That's wasn't. To this time, we have not seen the Tim Jones case, but that just went through, and that did not have the notoriety, even though it was a big case. The channels in New York did not even cover any bit of that trial. So I don't know what's going to happen if that one. But most of them are covered. So it is a reality. It will air in 2020. And there will be a PSA at the end of it. Diane Downs, that was made into a movie, right? I mean, and there were children there. In a perfect world, you'd say this, but it's not. It's just a lot of people can talk and say, oh, this Casey Anthony. So Fatal Vision, absolutely, yeah, about the Jeffrey McDonald, right? You have that other one about that doctor, the one with the pins and stuff in the wife. That was made. No, we have a problem. The repairman was here. You can go back in the beginning and I talk about it. Sharon Tate's, right? Absolutely. Was there a Casey Anthony movie made? I believe there was. Like Madeline McCann was made into those documentaries and stuff, right? Casey Anthony, she had a movie. I think she did. Did she? She did, right? Didn't she? Yes, there was a Casey Anthony movie made. Pretty sure Lifetime is making one about Delphi. Oh, yeah? So that was that. And I guess at this point you can hope that they make it as factual as possible. Yeah, but I think there was already something made about that. That is a new fridge. That is a new fridge, cowgirl. That's only like 2 years. That is a new fridge. Oh yeah, right. Right. I love you now. Die. Absolutely. Um, so it's there. I didn't think they would do it this soon, but it's there. With the thermistor, Judy, did they keep moving your thermistor around? Because they just keep repositioning ours, and now I don't know. Now he's getting different parts. Now he said, "Let it all defrost out. It'll be okay." Oh, they are fixing it for free. I have I think it's a 6 year agreement, and I have 10 years on the compressor or something like that. A Columbine movie, yeah. They even did didn't they do one about the little kids that were killed in the school in Newtown, Connecticut? A documentary or something. There was something about that. So, so what they do, VST, they moved it because they fixed it and then it works good. But this is the 2nd August. Have I heard from Autumn? No. They give you an allotment for food. There's, I don't know, I think you get like $200 or $300 for food that's lost, which is good. The freezer's fine. Why is the live on? Because I have somewhere to go tonight. So I won't be able to be live tonight. So I'm going to do it now. Yeah, I got my 12. I took a almost 6 mile bike ride too. So, oh, and then oh gosh, I got back from my bike ride and I was dying of thirst, and I was going to get water, but I had to have something immediately. I grabbed a Polar Seltzer lemon lime, right? Poured it in the glass, clear glass, just chugged almost the whole thing down, poured a little more in, went to take another sip. I look in there and there's a weird thing in there. I have a picture. I took a picture of it because I sent it to Polar. I have the glass over there. You didn't throw that glass I have with that thing in it, did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
What glass?
By that lemon lime seltzer can.
I did. No.
Okay. So what it appears to be is, let me see if I can show the picture on my phone. I don't know if it'll work. That's enlarged. What does that look like to you? Lemon lime seltzer. Let me see if I have the other picture. This might. There it was in the glass. No, it doesn't look like a finger. It looks like a leaf. It looks like a lime leaf that was in the can. Can you see it now? It's gross. Yeah, I was pretty grossed out. Okay. Has anybody ever had that happen with a Polar seltzer? That was pretty gross. Um, Extra flavoring. I almost drank that. Who knows if I didn't drink like 3 other leaves? Well, I tried to call their number, but they were closed until tomorrow, so I messaged them on Facebook with the pictures. Hey, crazy cat lady. So that was good because I was so thirsty too, and I just, I almost was like, no, I can't. Never heard of it. Neither have I, and I drink a lot of seltzer. Leaping lizard, it looks like a lime leaf. It really does. And there is real, let me see, because they do put, this is a raspberry lime, but they do put natural flavors in there, made with natural flavors, so I don't know. Because they have to replace the thermistor in it, and so we had to defrost it all out, and then it'll work until he comes back next week. So, okay, so now I have my other story. We went through the Watts movie. You know that probably 90% of the people in here are going to watch it. And, that brings you to the whole controversy that if it is a nationwide, worldwide case like this, people are interested. They are. I mean, to say they're not interested would be a lie. And it's the way it is. It's the way it's always been. You're not going to, as nice as it would be, change the world. There's a natural interest in cases like that, as there was Lacey Peterson. Because especially when it's like that, okay? Like when you see Charles Manson, who's crazy like a lunatic, does something like, it's like, okay. But when you see what looks like the average family man, or Scott Peterson, oh my gosh, what a great, then there's a tremendous interest because, wait a minute, how did these people that you're thinking, are so unbelievable do this horrific stuff? And there's a very big interest in that. Well, Heather, we could hope that they do it in the right way, but they spent an overnight UPS. They give you $200. Werner, what is Werner's? So, while it would be high tea, it's not going to change. And then the next case, and the next case, and the next case, there's going to be an interest always. Oh, it's ginger ale? So that's that about that. Let's talk about the cheerleader. Did you hear about the cheerleader that's going to trial now in Ohio? Yeah, a lot of people do have questions, Allison, yeah. No, okay, so let's talk about the cheerleader because this is another case. Oh my gosh, okay, I have pictures to put up, let me see. Okay, so this is, let me enlarge that a little bit. Okay, this is, I believe, 3 days. You can see a little bit of a belly there before she delivered. Get to my stuff here on her.
My phone can't keep up.
Battery life.
Oh, would you stop? I hate those pages. Okay, so this one I have an update on the Barkat channel on the. I'm just trying to get to. Hang on. Now I need to find my glasses. Okay. Okay, so no, we don't.
Dear OxyClean.
Oh my gosh! Every time I open something. So she was a former cheerleader, right? And right after the prom, she gave birth. Now, this was July 2017, when a doctor told police that Richardson may have delivered a stillborn baby. And there was a search by police of the property where they said they found the remains of a newborn girl in her backyard. So they arrested the teen on multiple charges. The prosecutors alleged that Richardson did not want to be an 18-year-old single mom with college only a few months in the future. In the months after learning of her pregnancy, Richardson didn't return for an ultrasound, blood work, or any other treatment. She ignored all calls from the doctor and assistants, prosecution has said. Richardson's defense attorneys argue that the baby was born stillborn and didn't meet the legal criteria to be considered a child. Richardson's attorneys have repeatedly admitted she buried the child's remains in her parents' backyard, but they say she only did so after the baby was stillborn and she didn't know what to do with the remains. Another pretrial hearing was held on August 19th, and her trial is scheduled to begin on September 3rd. So this is an upcoming trial, and I have, hang on, some other photos. She lives in Ohio, and what the prosecution says she did was that how should I put it? I'm trying, it's pretty gruesome. That she burned the remains, and that before that she fractured the baby's skull because the baby has unexplained skull fractures. And the forensic pathologist wrote that whether the bones were burned or not, the baby was still dead, had unexplained skull fractures, and was buried in the backyard. I don't understand why the burning takes it up such a notch. A forensic anthropologist initially claimed that the bones had been charred, but later seemed to recant that assertion. So she's been charged, she's 20 years old now, she's been charged with aggravated murder, involuntary manslaughter, gross abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and child endangerment. She has pled not guilty. Okay, but that's not all. Now, this is her pre-trial stuff. Her trial starts again September 3rd, so definitely be following that. We have something from her friends who think that she has been vilified. So let me get that. Where's my stuff about her friends? Come on. I've got too many things open. think this is it. Yeah. All right. So friends of Brooke Schuyler Richardson, who's that girl out there, say she doesn't deserve vilification. Back in February of this year, they said it's been 18 months since the case of the Carlisle, Ohio teen grabbed national headlines, but it continues to enthrall the media and her community. Schuyler, as she's known to her friends and family, was arrested on July 20th, 2017, after a doctor called in a tip to the police. She stands accused of killing her newborn baby, and her parents, Kim and Scott Richardson, say that Schuyler told her doctor she had given birth to a stillborn baby and that she had buried the baby in the backyard of her family's home. According to the Richardsons, Schuyler buried her baby's body because she feared to disappoint her parents and worried about rejection from them and her extended family. Earlier this year, on April 26th, Schuyler had her first appointment with a gynecologist whom she visited to get birth control pills. Schuyler's parents say her doctor did a routine urine test and told her she was pregnant. Schuyler, who has battled with eating disorders throughout her life and whose weight has fluctuated as a result of these struggles, had not known she was pregnant, according to her family. She told the doctor she was there for birth control and her mother was waiting outside and expecting a prescription, so the doctor wrote her one. On Sunday, May 7th, almost 48 hours after her high school prom, the Richardsons say Schuyler gave birth to a stillborn baby in her bathroom. They say they waited for hours for any sign of life, and when the baby did not open her eyes... Okay. Sorry. Why did they sit there and wait? If they really... Wouldn't they have called an ambulance? Wouldn't they have called 911? Come on. They say she waited for hours for any sign of life, and when the baby did not open her eyes, Schuyler named her Annabelle and buried her with miniature roses in a hole in the backyard. Well, isn't that special? Meanwhile, according to her parents, Schuyler continued to take the birth control pills. When she went back for a refill on July 12th, she saw another doctor who asked about her baby after checking her chart. Schuyler broke down and told the doctor about the stillbirth, her family says. 2 days later, according to police, the doctor called in a tip and said the teen had given birth to a stillborn baby and buried her in the family's backyard. She was 18 years old then, and she willingly told the police her story. In a press conference detailing her indictment a few weeks later, Warren County Prosecutor David Fornshell contradicted her version of events, alleging that Schuyler had given birth to a living baby and purposefully caused the death of the newborn before burning her and burying her in the backyard. He said he believed the exact cause of death may never be determined. Schuyler was charged with aggravated murder, involuntary manslaughter, endangering the life of a child, tampering with evidence, and gross abuse of a corpse. She has pleaded not guilty, and her family has denied the allegations repeatedly. In a motion filed to have the case moved from Warren County, which was rejected, the defense said that a month after Schuyler was indicted, a forensic anthropologist retracted her claim that the baby was burned. The defense added in court documents that a second expert attested that the baby was not burned. The prosecution responded that the expert's opinions were miscategorized by the defense and called the motion misleading at best. Schuyler's life has since changed dramatically. Before the arrest, she was a cheerleader who had recently graduated from high school and was scheduled to go to the University of Cincinnati to study psychology. Now ostracized within her community and online, she faces charges. While awaiting trial and taking a few classes at a local community college, Schuyler is currently also working part-time in her attorney's office after being rejected from 40 jobs, her mother, Kimberly Richardson, told the press. The trial was scheduled to be held April 2018, but was delayed by the defense and prosecutors over the inclusion of Schuyler's conversations with her doctors during her appointments. Schuyler's defense team and whether she discussed with her doctors and what she discussed should be protected by doctor-patient privilege. On October 22nd, 2018, the defense attorneys lost their appeal. They appealed the decision to the Ohio Supreme Court on December 6th. National advocacy groups filed 2 briefs in support of the appeal, saying that the issue of patient privacy of pregnant women is a national one, urging the court to hear the appeal. On February 20th, the Ohio Supreme Court declined to accept the appeal. The defense and the prosecutor did not immediately return calls from Teen Vogue for comment. A status hearing in the case will be held on April 23rd in the Warren County Court so this has already happened, but she's scheduled now for September 6th. But this is what her friends say. Meanwhile, Skylar lives at home with her parents, and in the year and a half since her arrest, her family and friends have maintained her innocence. She's still the same Skylar, says Annie, who's Skylar's best friend. She's different because of the way that people have treated her. She's scared of the media, obviously, and the way they act towards her, and the mean people, but she is still her sweet self. Still, Annie is worried. She knows that people are talking. The things they're saying are not okay. She needs to not believe them, she says. Annie says Skylar is aware that instead of keeping the stillborn birth a secret, she should have told her mom or called the cops. With her friends, Mackenzie, Ashley, and Annie, all 19, Skylar cheered, watched basketball games, and hung out. Mackenzie and Skylar discussed eating frequently as both girls battled eating disorders. Mackenzie said Skylar used her appearance as an armor. We would talk about the struggles. It's just helpful to know that someone else is dealing with the same issue and you're not alone, Mackenzie said. When this story first broke, vans parked outside the Richardsons' home. Neighbors and classmates went on television to talk about the family. Some brought lawn chairs and snacks to watch the drama unfolding, according to the family. From inside the house, the family watched these gawkers gather on their lawn, and even with all the lights in the house shut off, they could not sleep because the lights outside were so bright, they said. The next day, the family fled to a hotel and spent the entire day there, returning after their extended family members told them that everyone had left. Most people didn't realize she had just turned 18 when this happened, Mackenzie said. She was just a high school kid, and people treat her like she's a 35-year-old woman. Both friends with her forever. It's hard to see her in shackles or in mugshots. I had a very difficult time dealing with it. Ashley agrees. She was just a kid. She was scared. She panicked. She didn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Her friends said they didn't even know Skylar was pregnant. Nothing like this happens in Carlisle. So the community wants to make it sound as crazy as possible, Ashley said. They have this small town mentality. They found out something bad happened with Skylar, so they all ganged up on her instead of sticking behind her. Ashley says her job now as a friend is to make life as normal as possible. Sometimes they still hang out in favorite places like restaurants, ice cream parlors, and the mall. They bonded over countless hours of videos on YouTube, makeup, and playing with Skylar's makeup collection. Her whole life is chaos now, so I hope that our friendship, me, Annie, and Mackenzie, can be an escape for her. I want her to get her life back. She was supposed to be a college student this year. She was so excited about changing her major, finding a roommate, stuff every kid wants. So far, Skylar had no time to mourn the loss of her child, her friends say. We have all been so focused on the case that we have not had time to grieve the loss of the baby. From the moment Skylar saw her daughter and named her Annabelle, she thought she was beautiful. She wanted her. She held her and loved her. Another friend, Jessica, met Skylar in the first grade, and she said that she thinks of her as her first friend, and she doesn't believe the charges make sense because Skylar used to work with children with special needs. Sheba, 20, another friend who has known Skylar since first grade, was on homecoming court with her twice. She credits Skylar with helping to save her life. She said that she was bullied in school, often for her weight, and one day the bullying reached ugly, dangerous levels, and Sheba said she'd had enough. She decided to go home and take her own life, but Skylar interceded. I I'm just ready to die. I don't want to live anymore. I'm ugly. I'm annoying to people, Sheba said. And Skylar was like, Sheba, you're not annoying. You're the most beautiful person, and you have such a good heart and such a good soul. And she kind of talked me down from basically committing suicide. Kylie, 18, is another friend speaking in Skylar's defense. They've known each other since middle school. Kylie said she's upset by the stalkers and online cruelty. If I was ever having problems with anything, she would be there for me, hear me talk about it forever. She was on my side no matter what. It's really concerning for me that these people just make a priority to harass Skylar and do whatever they can to make her and her family's lives miserable. When the news broke, I tweeted that Carlisle is such a close family, the community, until someone gets put in the spotlight and then everyone has something new to talk about. It's pathetic. It's just not how a family is supposed to act. And I say that because people support the football team and have all this pride for the village we live in and act like it's so awesome. And then all of a sudden, it's the same people who are like, oh my gosh, Skylar is a baby killer and she deserves to go to prison forever. Okay, so I think I showed you. I'll show you all. Yeah, you got all the pictures. Okay, so let me go back before we go to the North Carolina dad. Okay. Let me get the chat. So, were you guys, were you guys familiar with that case? She buried the baby in the garden with some miniature roses. Her parents say that, you know, she didn't do anything wrong, that she wanted the baby. She waited, you know, for the baby to show any sign. They claim she was stillborn, and she was just waiting there. But she didn't call 911. She didn't call anyone. She didn't tell her parents. So that starts September. That's another trial, September 3rd. So there's a lot of trials coming up. And now, is Sunny Bunny here? She may not be. But when I saw this, I was immediately reminded of Sunny Bunny, because Sunny Bunny told, I don't know how many of you remember, do you remember the story Sunny Bunny told where she was at the desk, I forget exactly what her position was, at a police department, and a man came in and he had blood all over him, and he said he had just killed his son. And Sunny was like, oh, sit down. You know, she was very calm. And do you remember that when she came on and said that? Do you remember that, Melinda? Okay. Well, listen to this story. Hang on. Let me get, we did Skylar. Okay. Let me see if where's his. Okay. It's kind of scary. Okay, a North Carolina man faces murder charges after he walked into a sheriff's office and confessed to killing his teenage daughter. It was the Union County Sheriff's Office, and his name is Joshua Lee Burgess, 32. He entered the lobby, I believe this was August 18th, and he entered the lobby around 9:30 a.m. Sunday and told the dispatcher that he wanted to turn himself in. Sounds exactly like the story that Sunny Bunny told. Once the dispatcher started searching for possible arrest warrants, Burgess told her that she wouldn't find his name on information because he had just killed someone that day. The victim was his 15-year-old daughter, Zariah Jocelyn Burgess. Joshua Burgess told the dispatcher that the incident occurred that morning, and he gave detailed information about his daughter's death and where her body was located. The teen's body was found by Union County deputies in her father's house, where she had been visiting him that weekend. Detectives, crime scene investigators, and an agent from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation were sent to conduct interviews and gather evidence. A medical examiner was determining the cause of death, and now he had his first court appearing on.
Yes.
Be quiet. He had his first court appearance. Let me see here. Because there were gasps in the courtroom. Zariah had been described as loving and caring. The father made his first court appearance Monday, and there was a collective gasp in the room when prosecutors described how she died. They claim Burgess strangled 15-year-old Zariah and then slit her throat. It's not clear what led up to the murder. Now he is due back in court next month. So that's another September court there, but yeah. And then, let me see what's going on there. Anybody heard of that one? You read the story? Yeah, Brandy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said she just wanted to make people smile. She was a lovely girl. But that really reminded me of Sunny Bunny's story. Yeah, Bella, pretty bad. Okay, and now, let's see, Lisa Avery, that's pretty, ugh. Yeah, I said that the burning was retracted. But they said, well, what does it matter? They believe the baby was born alive and she has skull fractures and was buried in the backyard. So they're saying, like, does it really, so that makes it a little bit worse? The whole thing is bad. Yeah, she had skull fractures, so she was. Okay, so now an update on the case from yesterday about the woman that was killed in the Florida consignment shop in 1998, that they just found the fingerprint match because this guy, Todd, applied for a job at a nursing home, and the fingerprints were a match. When they went to pick him up 20 years later, he wasn't even surprised when they said, when he was 200 miles away from this place, and they said, we're here about a homicide 20 years ago, and he just said, okay. So today's update, because this trial just started and it's supposed to be finished tomorrow. Let me see what I have on the update on that. I think I pulled that out, right? Let me see. Okay, he testifies in his own defense. Hold on a minute. Let me put his picture up here. Testimony finished in the first-degree murder trial of Todd Barkat on Thursday, so it's done today, before Circuit Judge Cheryl Caracuzzo, with the 51-year-old taking the stand. Barkat charged in the 1998 bludgeoning and stabbing death of 68-year-old Sandra Better in Delray Beach, Florida. Todd said he wasn't proud of what he did in Luche's consignment shop on August 24, 1998, but he said he did not kill Sandra Better, the 68-year-old cashier found in a pool of her own blood in the store that same evening. Barkat told the 14-person jury Thursday that he went into the Delray Beach store with the intention of buying a dog bowl that he'd seen previously. But instead, he took $100 or so from the register when he realized no one was inside. He said it was the only time he had ever done something like that. The only time you thought to take something happened to be that day, the day that Mrs. Better was murdered? Assistant State Attorney Richard Clousey Jr. asked him. Barkat said yes. That's an unfortunate coincidence, don't you think? It's a terrible coincidence, Barkat said. Barkat's testimony and closing arguments ended 4 days of testimony in the first-degree murder trial Thursday afternoon. The jury will return Friday morning to deliberate whether the 51-year-old man is guilty in the 1998 fatal attack. Delray Beach police say Barkat fatally bludgeoned and stabbed Better during the alleged robbery. Though fingerprints and DNA were gathered at the site 2 decades ago, investigators did not get a match until Barkat submitted fingerprints to a potential employer, a nursing home, within the last year. Besides the fingerprint found on a decorative marble ball inside the consignment store, Barkat's DNA was tested among some of the blood gathered from inside and around the cash register, and it matched him, according to investigators. Barkat, who was living outside Tampa at the time of his arrest in March, had no previous felony criminal history, according to state records. Barkat told the jury in the days before Better's death he remembered walking around Luche's with his wife and admiring the amber-colored marble ball set on display. He said that after he and his wife married, now for 26 years, they went from consignment store to consignment store looking for tchotchkes. He said he grabbed one of the balls and he showed it to his wife, but she wasn't interested. He told the jury that's how his fingerprints got on one of those 3 balls. The other 2 shown in court throughout the trial were found covered in blood by Better's head. During her closing arguments, Assistant Public Defender Courtney Wilson reminded the jury that the 2 balls found near Better definitely did not have Barkat's DNA or fingerprints on them. As for the 3rd ball, it wasn't kept as evidence. Only the fingerprint was recorded, police and crime scene investigators said throughout the trial. You know why it wasn't taken into evidence? Because it had nothing to do with the murder, Wilson said. As for blood in the register, Barkat told the jury he worked as a day laborer at the time and would constantly cut his hands while working outdoors. In her closing arguments, Assistant State Attorney Alexia Cox said the story Barkat told jurors didn't make any sense. The blood all around the register and the timing of the 2 witnesses who were in the store minutes before and afterwards didn't match up to his story or the evidence. She said the attack was quick and it was brutal and it was rough. She said even though he wasn't caught back then, it doesn't mean that he would get away with Better's death now. When you do something, it catches up to you, Cox said. It took 21 years for this crime to catch up to him, but it did. During the trial, several people testified, including the original detectives on the case, officers who spoke with Barkat on the west coast of Florida, and people who were in and out of the consignment shop on August 24th. Tyler Smith and his girlfriend were searching for a couch when they entered Luche's that evening and found Better on the ground surrounded by blood. Mary Jane Hartog was in the store for a few minutes that evening and remembered a man speaking with the woman at the cash register. She told the jury Tuesday that she didn't remember anyone else in the store. When she read reports about Better's homicide in the following days and saw a police sketch of the suspected killer, she said she recognized that man right away as the one who was in the store when she was there. Though Barkat's fingerprints and DNA were found at the scene, defense attorneys argued that not all of the samples were tested. When Robert Stevens, now the retired lead detective on the case, testified Wednesday, he agreed with Wilson that there were more than 20 other samples of blood in the store that he did not send to be submitted for testing. He said the only blood that he asked to be tested was around the cash register and then leading from Better's body out the front door. On Thursday, Assistant Public Defender Joseph Walsh asked Celinda Sowards, a forensic scientist with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Crime Lab, about more than a dozen other samples taken from throughout the store, like a wicker chair and some carpet, and whether or not, 2 decades after the homicide, investigators asked her to test the additional samples. She said no. During her closing arguments, Wilson said there was no reason that 21 years later those other items couldn't have been tested. She said Sowards told them that just last week she was testing DNA in this case. Blood can tell a compelling story, and in this case the blood does. She says, echoing prosecutors' opening statements at the beginning of trial, but it's not the one the state is trying to sell you. Okay, so the jury deliberates on that starting tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen? Quick verdict or long, guilty, not guilty? What do you think? You think they'll have a verdict tomorrow? It doesn't mention the death penalty, so I'm confused because it's Florida. You think quick verdict, guilty? Well, life says guilty. High 69. Quick and guilty. Hey, B. Snyder. He needed money, and since the cashier was dead, he could help himself. Guilty and quick. Guilty, quick and guilty. Hi, Nora. He needs the penalty. Hi, Free Meow. I know, that was quick. I wonder where everything's going to be filmed and stuff. It would be nice if it's guilty, as all hell Belmax. Guilty and quick. A lot cheaper. Hey, Carol. It's too bad her husband didn't live. Yeah, he died in 2015. But her daughters are here around. They have 3 daughters. So let's see. Where's my... Is that all I had to bring you to that? Let me see, because I wrote it down. It was the Cheerleader. It was the Chris Watts movie. It was the dad in North Carolina. It was the update on the trial. I think that's... Oh, no, I have one other thing. No. One other thing. We've got an update in the Frazee case. Okay? Frazee is due back in court tomorrow. And they are hinting that he's going to pin the murder on someone. And the odds are pretty well in favor that it's going to be Crystal Lee Kenny. Or Crystal Kenny Lee, or Crystal whatever. Frazee case is big news there. What's the big news, Hi? Just that he's going to be back in court and the defense is looking to blame it on someone else? I'm glad I looked at my notes because I forgot that one. Florida. Oh, wait, and the Best Buy murder. I have a small update on that too. So it's a good thing that I looked at my Lifetime Watts movie, Cheerleader, Ohio. We did North Carolina Father. Frazee we're talking about now. Florida consignment case I just did. Best Buy. And then, okay. They were both pinning on each other. Are these cases? The Florida one, no. The Cheerleader one is going to start September 3rd. I would think it's going to be televised. I don't know. The North Carolina, he's due in court next month. The dad that killed his 15-year-old. Frazee is... no, Frazee might not be. Frazee was, he wasn't. It's very... I don't know what's going to happen there. Hi, White Tiger. How are you? He said, she said, hung jury, you think? Oh yes, the copyright strike. Well, I wrote to that channel and I was like, what's the deal? Okay, because it says in my description, that's my file that I uploaded. I have the letter from Weld County. I have my files from Weld County. I can show you all the proof that those are my files. So not only that, but it also has, I put my voice on it. I've had text on it. So what's going on? Because if you want to go this route, we'll go this route, right? But I said it nicer than that. And what I think it was, YouTube is doing this crazy thing where they just in this beta studio say something like, this person uploaded your video. They don't say, might be, you should check it out. Now, it's happened to me with that Jim Eva channel. It said to me, Jim Eva, they uploaded your stuff. And I'm like, I went there and it was discovery stuff. And so I just disregarded it. Now, apparently this other channel clicked a little box that said something like, yes, it is my stuff. Get a video down. Then you have two choices. You can contact the channel direct first, which is what I did. And she released, I guess she took a look and saw, well, that's not my content. And if she brings it to YouTube, I'm going to be in trouble. So she released it. And so I have no copyright strikes at all. Yeah, nice timing, right, Paddle? That was just, I needed that. That was like some icing on the cake. But anyway, it's Google, it's YouTube, whatever. Okay. So, yeah, every day I have new things in their net. There is some Chinese channel that keeps uploading my videos exactly the way they are. They do it, they upload like 1,000 videos in one day. And for some reason, they like 2 of my videos, one of my Chris Watts videos, and then they'll take like an appliance video that I do or something. And they throw them up there and then I have to go take them down. They don't change them at all. I don't know what they're doing, but every week I have to have like 10 of them removed. And these channels just pop up and then they go down. Okay, so Frazee, Wicked Brews. What do you, you're telling me to relax? Okay. Why don't you have a brew and relax, Wicked Brews? Okay. Fridge, yes. Fridge is under warranty. I have a long warranty on this fridge. And they're covering the food, so I'm all good on that. Okay. And the freezer works, so that's good. And we have an extra refrigerator in the garage too, which Jimmy probably has filled with stuff. That you ever get this refrigerator and then Jimmy just fills them and I don't even know what the purpose is. Okay. Yeah, well, at one time, Laura Kenny, what they were doing when I saw that this huge inflatable that I had and my kid's picture and the picture behind me of our house on this channel, what they were doing, they were taking all of the bloggers' reviews like that and they were uploading them. Now, of course, they just popped up, so they didn't have monetization, but they put Amazon affiliate links for every one of the products. That was a big one. Now, for some reason, this channel, one of the ones I went to, was like 16, tell me how this happened, 16 hours old. They uploaded like 200 videos and they had monetization. So I don't know how that happened. I really don't. And so they were monetizing the hell out of those videos. Okay. We have an identical one. Do you have the thermistor problem every August too? JMM? Hi, Carol Lucy. When you live a ways from the store, you need fridge space. Yeah. Okay, so did I get to everything yet? We went to Frazee. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Oh, the Best Buy, the woman there, she was buried yesterday? Yesterday or today. She had her funeral. There's still, I thought to see if they said anything more about that marijuana. It was through a vape along with cocaine. They still haven't mentioned any of the Scooby snacks or, thank you so much, White Tiger, the Scooby snacks or anything like that. So I don't know. White Tiger has a channel if you guys want to go and check it out. You can click on White Tiger and go check out channel there. Thank you, White Tiger. Appreciate it. Well, we're almost going to be done because I had to go on early. Your problem is the ice maker. What is it, JMM? Is it noisy? Does it spit ice across the room? Jimmy's ice. Your ice maker broke too? Yeah, Carol, unfortunately. What do you need advice on, Maria? What's your advice? Too many limeades. Sage it. Your ice maker broke too? Did you have a warranty? Cookie dog feels neutral today. Yeah, he does look a little neutral, doesn't he? He does. He's like, I can't believe my mom's got to go deal with this crap. And then he to scrape ice out of the fridge is annoying. Thanks, Michelle. You need some saging? I do have 2 sage plants out there. Maybe I will burn a bunch. You filter the water, noisy stops, and then dumps to the bottom drawer. See, our ice maker's in the door. It's in the second door. It's not in the freezer. Bebop, it's a Maytag. You know the one where the repair guy is so lonely? I don't know if it works or not. It's worth a shot, right? It's a Maytag, Mama Ames. You have your service guy on speed dial. There are certain appliances that I buy extended warranties with, and the fridge is one of them. The dishwasher is another. I think I have it on the oven too. Hey, snow remover, thank you. But we were just talking about fridges not lasting, right? I know, when I said, oh my gosh. But this happened, see, they just said the thermistor is in the wrong spot. And this happened last August. And they fixed it and it was fine. And then at this like exact time, so I don't know whether it takes that long for it to go bad again or what, but did they say that this was going to fix the problem?
Huh?
Did they say what they're going to do this time?
With respect to what?
The refrigerator?
Yeah, they're gonna order the backup control panel parts and the thermistor.
They're going to order the back control and says, what is that going to fix it for good?
Well, he says that that's all it took. Can't be anything else but that.
But why does it happen in August?
Wait a minute.
Did you tell him this happened last August?
Yeah, but all he did was move the thermistor, and so he said the thermistor is in a good place, so there's no other place to put it. So he's going to order a thermistor in case something's wrong with it, and the two chips, that control the thermistor feeds information, and it controls the refrigerator. Tells it when to turn on and turn off. And because it's obviously not telling it to turn off, and it's freezing that thing up.
Okay. You got a fridge in the garage. Yeah, it's still ticking, right? My sister-in-law, not my sister-in-law, my first cousin, had horrible luck with Electrolux appliances. All of them, and high-end ones, every single one had problems. So what did Maria Kitty Cat have problems with? Did she put that down? Sometimes your adult son that has schizophrenia becomes violent. I would contact his psychiatrist, and yeah, if he's violent towards you and can hurt you, you may have to consider hospitalization, and do not buy a Thermador. I had a Thermador cooktop before. Thanks, Pat L. But it was good. I mean, I think I sold it. I actually sold it. Was good. The Thermador cooktop was good. I didn't like the stainless steel, like the stainless steel one I have now. I love it because on the bottom it has ceramic, which is so much easier to clean around the burners, and not stainless steel around the burners, because that's hell on wheels. That is hell on wheels, especially when you have somebody that cooks like Jimmy. Amazon has sage spray for cleanse on the go. That sounds like that would make a nice stocking stuffer. You love your Electrolux, yes. Vacuums were always good. Always bought an Electrolux vacuum. I haven't. They used to come to the house, right, and do. My mother always bought one, had one. I had two of them, but then I ended up with the Dysons. I don't know. But my cousin had terrible luck with the appliances. She had the refrigerator, the oven, and what was the other? Dishwasher. Making a list of brands not to buy. Thank you, Tammy B. Yeah, I go Dyson now too. I haven't bought an Electrolux. In fact, the power Electroluxes are out in the garage, I think. The Cosere? What is it? I always buy KitchenAid for the dishwasher. Oh, an air fryer. Okay. Used to date a guy who, yeah, they did. I'm right, and they had all their tricks. You remember their tricks where they would put a paper towel in the hole where the bag goes, and they would say, go get me your other vacuum, and they'd vacuum, right? And then he'd go over with the Electrolux, and he'd open it up, and then he'd take the paper towel out, and it would be full of dirt, and you'd be like, and then they'd pick up a bowling ball. They never lost their suction. They were workhorses. We still have one of the original ones at the lake house, like the gold. Remember the gold one? And the retractable cord. That was it back in the 70s. You were pimping out your vacuum with that retractable cord back in the 70s. Hey, April F. The Dyson is, but the Electrolux it really had its day. It's the public that gives them their views that the channels want. If the public don't. Right, they are watching though. That's what it is. They are watching, and those producers are going to produce what the people want to see. A lot of people can say, don't make it, but who are we kidding? They're going to watch it. Oh, really? That's why if you use Google Chrome, it'll remember your passwords for you. What'd you say, Jeannie? Oh, okay. Right. They are. They are. I will. I'm not going to lie. It did, but they don't make things to last anymore. Throwaway culture, yeah. It is. It is. I have a number of Dysons. I have one animal that went in, had an overhaul done, and now you have to hold the button down, but it still vacuums. But then I was sent the cordless one, and my son bought one too. The cordless Dyson. But I don't love, the cordless Dyson because I need more power. I need it to last longer. So I bought an upright Dyson. And then I was sent the Shark that's like the Dyson, but it has a plug. And that's pretty good too. I forget which one that's called. I have videos on them. But Dyson makes, I never use a blow dryer anymore. I had a dream, oh my gosh, about a blow dryer, and I forget who it was. I think it was my neighbor down the road. And she pulled out, do you remember those hair dryers that had like flowers all over the box, and they had that vinyl like 70s stuff, and you pull it out and it had this bonnet and it puffed out and you put your hair under it, and they had them like for teens, that was like the thing, but they came in those, with the hats. It was like the psychedelic 70s. I remember ours had those big orange and pink flowers all over it. That's what I had in my dream. And I said to this woman, I was like, oh my gosh, you still have it? And she's like, yes, I use this all the time. And hers was big and pink, and I couldn't believe that she was using it. Your mother had one? Yeah, but then for adults, like my mother had one that was like a mini, like hard plastic all around, and you went up, it looked like the one that was in the salon. But this one was like especially made for tweens, teens. I'm on very early because I have things to do tonight. You bought an electric canister. Yeah, yours is, a blow dryer dream. I know, hair dryer in a box. What's called that off of you? Go back and read about your Dyson? Okay. Is it after you said hello to me? Let me see. your button on your Dyson did the same thing. If you kind of flick the button, that's literally, if you flick it, it will stay in. What do you mean by flick it? Do you mean flick it like this, or what do you mean by flick it? How? Flick it like how? Oh, thank you, Margie. Called it tidy dryer. Your husband would starve, yeah. She liked it better. Kind of hold down and slide the button. I'll have to check it out. I will have to check it out. No disrupting your sleep tonight, no. So I think that's, so we got Frazee. Let me just see what time Frazee's supposed to, and what that's about. We're supposed to get, there come the storms, and I thought I saw the lights flicker, so don't worry if I suddenly go, whew, it's, Frazee. Okay, the jury may not hear some statements Patrick made during his arrest. Attorneys for Frazee, who is accused of killing Kelsey Barrett, may want statements he made to, would you be quiet, to a Department of Human Services employee suppressed. So they're probably the ones in the hospital, right? Meaning they wouldn't be revealed to the jury. Frazee, who is charged in connection with the disappearance and presumed death of his fiancée, Kelsey Barrett, is due in court Friday morning for a motions hearing where a judge could rule on that motion and several others. Okay, so at some point during that, the worker conducted a conversation with defense attorneys saying it amounted to a custodial interrogation. They argued that Frazee should have been advised of his right to remain silent as required by law. Frazee pleaded not guilty, okay. And it looks like also that much of the evidence presented by prosecutors during the preliminary hearing hinges on the information given by Crystal Lee Kenny, Frazee's ex-girlfriend, and that he's probably going to, I can't stand these ads, he's going to point the finger at somebody, which is going to be Crystal Kenny. So it's just going to be a motions hearing tomorrow. And the trial is still due to start in October. All right, let me come back. And, oh, thank you, Mama Ames. Thank you. Sending love, hugs, and prayers your way. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all you do, Mama Ames. And I hope your sister is doing well. Please pray for Mama Ames' sister. She's going through some treatments now for cancer. And keep praying for Avery, which is manager of Three Monsters, 10-month-old nephew who was diagnosed with cancer when they thought it was a dermatoid cyst. So yeah, he's got a long road. And of course for Kathy from Texas, her son Jim and his recovery, and for everyone that's going through stuff. Pray for everyone in the community. Thank you, the Frilly Farmhouse. Thanks, Susanna. All right, well, I better get ready to, yeah, baby Avery. So everyone have a good one, and I will talk to you tomorrow sometime. All right. I've got to, because I've got a lot to do, a lot of stuff to cover. But thank you. Love you guys too. And everybody take care. And I will talk to you tomorrow.